Hey everybody, welcome to the video. I cannot believe it's already February and I'm like picking my new books for the month because I have had a really good reading year so far in 2022. Like January was fantastic. Look for my wrap up here shortly. I think I've just really been enjoying giving those updates, those Friday read videos where I just talk a little bit more about how I'm feeling about the books. And so I just feel like I've been having a good year so far. So I'm excited to pick some new books for February. I don't really have any rhyme or reason to this month, so I'm going to run that simple number generator TBR game that I did last month. I've decided to adjust a few things, but the same idea is pretty much present. So that is planned for this video, so hold on and we will get into all the books. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel if you are new here, or just welcome back. I always love filming TBR videos. I think I just get really excited about it. So what I'm gonna do this time with my number generator TBR game is, instead of having the whiteboard, because if you saw in my last video, I talked a bit about the fact that we have COVID in the house, and so we are in quarantine, and I just have 4 kids and they're all over the house. Right now they're resting and watching a movie, and everybody's really done just fine. We've had very mild COVID, but we still have to quarantine. So regardless, I can't film in front of my whiteboard. So I'm just gonna do a little different and see how this works out. So my plan is to show you the different groups and the books that are potential options and then start the number generator. So my first set of books are my historical fiction books. So I picked 3 again this month, so I will put them up here, and they are My Dear Hamilton, I Was Anastasia, and The Distant Hours. So those are my options for historical fiction. And then as for thrillers, I picked Behind Her Eyes, The Guest List, and The Inheritance Games. And then for fantasy sci-fi, I picked Red Rising, Darker Shades of Magic, and Assassin's Apprentice. And then this month I'm using the category of my favorite booktubers' favorite books. I'll link the video if you haven't seen it. But the 3 books I picked as potentials for this month are Falling, Someone I Used to Know, and When the World Was Ours. And then the last one is just kind of this miscellaneous grab bag of books that I'm interested in. And so the first one is The Push and People We Meet on Vacation. I thought I had to have at least one romance book in February. And then the last one is Cast. So you can see I numbered those all. And now we're gonna run the number generator. So actually, before I get into the number generator, I had to run and go get the book that I am for sure reading this month. And that's this book. So it's Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. So I will explain more about this when I get to that part, but I just wanted to throw that on there before I start picking. So now let's start picking. Okay, so I have my handy phone ready to do this. And so let's generate the first number, and that's number 14. So apparently I'm destined to read some romance in February, since this is literally the only romance on my shelves. And that's People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Next, number 5. So it's this one, The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I think I'm going to do this about 7 times. That's my plan. Give me a good stack of potential. So 11 is the next one. So that's this book, and this is Someone I Used to Know by Paige Toon. This was the book that was on Emily from Novelle Novels. It was her favorite book of the year. So I'm looking forward to seeing if I like her as an author. Next book, 13. The Push. And so I got recommended this from Jackie over on Jacqueline's channel, so I'll link her below. But this is The Push by Ashley Audren. I don't know how to say her name, but that's on my list now too. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, another one, number 3. Had this book on my shelves forever. So that's The Distant Hours by Kate Morton. I haven't read a Kate Morton book in ages. Oh, I just want to read another Kate Morton book, so I'm glad that came up. All right, I'm actually excited about all of these books, so this is fun. All right, number 10. So this is Falling by TJ Newman. So this is the book that was one of the favorites of Lindsey over at Lindsey's Little Library. I'll link her below. One more. Yeah, one more. Okay. Last one, number 12. Okay. And the last one I don't actually have a copy of, but I requested it from the library. It's When the World Was Ours. So I'll put a picture up here. Okay, those are the books. Oh, this is so much fun. This is so much fun. I hope you guys enjoy kind of the game aspect of picking my TBR. So now let's shift into talking about the books I picked. Okay, here they all are. It's definitely a decent stack, and I'm looking at it, and it's really mostly kind of thrillers, some historical fiction, a little mystery. This will be really fun because I feel like I did read a lot of fantasy last month, and so I'm excited to get into some kind of different genres. So let's just go through these. We'll start with the Agatha Christie. Okay, so I just picked this up. I've been wanting to read more Agatha Christie after loving And Then There Were None. But there is a new movie coming out. So the movie of Death on the Nile, I think it comes out in February. So I definitely wanted to read this. The previews make it sound just amazing. And so this is a Poirot novel. So he's one of her detectives. I can't remember what number this is, number 17 maybe. And so this feels like another almost locked door mystery where you only have so many suspects because they're on a big boat on the Nile River. And it's a boat with a bunch of rich people. And it sounds like one rich, stylish girl was shot in the head. But Poirot, I don't know if he was on the boat or if he got called onto the boat to solve this mystery, is in charge of figuring out what happened and who did it. And it says, "Yet in this exotic setting, nothing is ever quite what it seems." This sounds so good. And I'm just excited to try my hand at more Agatha Christie to see if it's just something I would really enjoy reading more of. So I'm reading that. And I think Chantel over at Chantel Reads All Day might be reading this month as well. I think I saw something on her community tab, but I'm not quite sure. I'll link her below just in case that's true. Next is Distant Hours by Kate Morton. Like I said, I have read a number of Kate Morton. I really enjoy her stories. I love that there are usually dual timelines, so there's usually a present day person who's trying to figure out past events. And that's no difference for this one. This sounds like this is about a girl who receives a long lost letter that was delivered to her mother. But the letter was lost for a long time, and I think it revealed a number of things. And I'm not sure if her mom has passed away, but it sounds like the letter brings her to this castle where there's this eccentric sisters that still live there that knew her mother while she was staying there during World War II. And I'm not sure if her mother was a child that had like fled to the countryside sort of idea, but there's a lot of secrets that the daughter did not know about her mother. That's all I need to know. That sounds like a book I would really, really like. So I'm looking forward to picking that one up. Okay, so this next book, I'm not exactly sure what category to put it in. It calls it a psychological drama. So like a family drama, but psychological. So I'm not sure if it's like a thriller, but I've heard good things about it. I've also heard it's kind of an intense read. That's especially intense for moms because it's about this woman who wants to be a good mom, and when she starts having children, things are not what she expects. Like her daughter is born and there's just something off. Like the woman feels like there's just something either wrong with the child or wrong with herself. And then she has a second child, a son, and immediately bonds with the child. I'm curious if it has to do with like postpartum depression. I'm not sure. So we'll see about this. A lot of people have really liked it. I'm hit or miss with kind of psychological reads. So we'll see. We'll see about that one. But it does sound really interesting. So the next book is another really popular one that I just didn't want to pick up for a while. And then suddenly I just kind of feel the desire to understand what's going on with this book. So it's The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This sounds really interesting. So I've heard a lot of people talk about it. So it sounds like there is like a wedding and they're on a remote island, and then there's a bunch of different characters who are all interconnected, and from what I understand, the characters aren't very likable. And then there's a murder first thing, and then I think the rest of the book goes through everybody's kind of backstory and how messed up they truly are, with the question of who is it that committed this murder. And I'm not even sure if we know who dies, but it is a thriller, so I actually love to just go in without knowing much more than what I've heard people say about it. So I don't know. Have you guys read this book? It's a very popular book, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but I got it from the library just to kind of check out. So next one is People We Meet on Vacation. So I've heard nothing but good things about Emily Henry. I have not read Beach Read, so I haven't read any of her books. And so from what I understand about this, this is about two friends, or they used to be friends, a boy and a girl, Poppy and Alex. They used to kind of travel the world and do all these things together. And then there was somewhat of a falling out. And then it sounds like Poppy reaches back out to Alex and like requests that he goes on like one final trip with her. And it sounds like he agrees. And then I think they have to kind of work through their issues or work through whatever happened. So that sounds good. It sounds really emotional. So I'm just not sure what to expect from this book, but I've heard good things. So it's on my list. Oh my gosh, this is such a good stack. Another book. This one also sounds really good. Sorry, I'm just really excited about books today. So this is called Falling by T.J. Newman. So this book, from what I understand, it is about a pilot who gets contacted like 30 minutes before he's about to take off that some kidnappers have his family. And their request of him is that he needs to crash the plane. If he doesn't crash the plane, they're going to kill his family or something like that. So he has to decide while he's in the air, is he going to crash this plane? It's a pretty quick read. I don't know what's going to happen, but that sounds really good. So the last one. Okay, like I said, this is from my friend Emily. So someone I used to know. So this is very much a contemporary book, which I'm hit or miss with contemporary. I can really like them sometimes, but it sounds like this is about a set of teenagers. And so there was a girl, Leah, who never wanted a foster brother, and she's a teenager and he's a teenager, and her parents start fostering him, so she has now a foster brother. She didn't really want him. And then there's, I guess, another boy involved, like, so there's kind of a triangle of friends as teenagers. They just grow close together, and then they separate, life happens, and then I believe life brings them back together, but I'm not sure what brings them back together or why. But it just sounds really good. I think the cover is really cute and pretty. So I want to give this a shot. This is probably the one book on that list of recommendations I got from my favorite booktubers that is probably the most out of my comfort zone. Like, I'm just like, I want to see if I like something that I would never have picked up. Like, that wasn't even on my radar. So I'm excited to give it a shot. I think it'll be really fun. But anyway, those are the books. I think it's going to be a good month. Sorry, I'll hold them up so you can see them. I think it'll be a really good month, and I'm really looking forward to it. Have you read any of those? Do you think I will like any of those? Do you think I will not like any of those? I think that's a fun thing to ask as well. So I hope you all are doing well, and that is all I have for this video. So if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, all that stuff. And otherwise, I will see you in the next book video. Okay, guys, talk to you later. Bye.